Rewind a year ago, and LSU was sitting in the same situation, waiting on a highly anticipated recruiting class that was headlined by the number one player in America, and Derek Stingley Jr., who was coming out of the Dunham School and had been on the camp circuit, and we knew all about Stingley. We had been watching him play since his sophomore year in high school and anticipated him coming in and being a day one, play one, game one starter. And really, he's exceeded the expectations. As crazy as that is, as much as the hype was, he's better than we thought he was going to be. His dad, Derek Stingley Sr., has been great to the show. He's been here for the last couple of years sitting in with us and giving us information and really giving us some football knowledge as he coaches the game. But how cool of a freshman season. I know that we've talked about this at the midway point. I think it was right after the Florida game when we had you on and you were talking about just how cool up to that point it had been. And now you've got the regular season and the SEC championship in the books. Your boy is the defensive MVP of that game. And by all services, he's pretty much recognized as the top cornerback, one of the top cornerbacks in college football. Pro Football Focus, who everybody who watches football, respects football, goes by those numbers. They have Stingley as the number one cornerback in college football this season. So we ask Jimmy Burrow every Tuesday. I guess I'll ask you the same question. How cool has it been?
It's been very cool. I mean, just to be there and witness it up close, to see him, make the plays. I mean, it's unreal. We anticipated him to have, some good plays, but what he's done this year has been crazy.
So he's exceeded your expectations.
Mine, for sure.
Wow.
For sure.
Wow, because I know that you hold him to a pretty high standard.
Yeah.
At what point did he exceed that?
Man, I almost want to say close, right after the midway part of the season, because I didn't even look at him as a first-year player anymore.
No way.
His confidence and his approach was just so far off the charts, to the point where I wasn't as worried early on, knowing that he was a freshman coming in, that he would have some issues, but I didn't see those, and then, I still broke down film. I kind of watched this game and the things that I saw, I said, you know what, he's capable of being elite, if he stay on this same path. And he's done a lot of good things, outside of, the Alabama game where, trick play here and there and some other things that didn't go our way, but we still pulled the game out. Meaning, when I say our way, meaning with Derek. But I thought that he's been lights out.
Yeah. They went at him 16 times in the Georgia game, and not a lot of people know. I mean, like, when I saw that number after the game, I was like, say what? Yeah. He only gives up 5 catches. 2 of them he picks off. I was telling the relationship a little bit to the people that were there between him and Pickens. They've been going at each other like a couple of caged pit bulls for the last, 5 years since freshman in high school.
Yeah, they've been on that
was coming. Yeah, you knew that was coming.
So they know each other pretty well, So he went up against him at the rivals camp, maybe the opening as well. But yeah, for 16 times to throw at him, one thing I know about him is if you go at him that many times, you're going to pay for it.
He's going to get you.
Point. Yeah,
he's going to get you.
Yeah, he'll get his hands on the ball.
Right.
He'll either make a big play in a pass breakup or he'll get the picks.
Yeah, and you knew that was going to happen. And I think it gives you an idea to the respect that they have for Fulton.
Oh, no doubt.
Right?
Yeah.
Because as much film as 24 as Stingley's put out, and they still go at him, I think it says how good Fulton is.
Christian has been balling this year. People don't recognize that because they look at Derek with the numbers, but Christian, his technique has been sound. He's been covering guys up. Mm-hmm. So, naturally, you got to pick your poison. So, what do you want to do? You want to go at the senior, or do you want to go at the freshman who's playing lights out as well? Yeah. So, I look at it like this. He's playing in the SEC. Those coaches like Saban and Fisher and
Smart.
Yeah, Smart. They're going to say, we're going to go at the freshman regardless because he's still just a freshman.
Yeah, doesn't have the experience.
Right. These lights may be too big for him. But with Derek, how he approaches it, it's not too big for him.
And what a great transition it's going to be for a player like Elias Ricks.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah.
Because next year, Stingley's going to be full. I mean, you may not call his name all season long. He might get bored playing football next year because he's just going to be standing over that by himself because everybody's going to go with the freshman, right?
I mentioned that to Derek the other day. I said, hey, man, you may have a down sophomore year.
Yeah, numbers.
He was like, Dad, this is the SEC. He said, they're still going to throw at me. They throw at other top DBs. He said, I may not get as many, but they're going to throw it.
Yeah. Well, so has him and Elias, same type of deal? Have they been on the camp circuit together for a while? Do they have a pretty nice relationship?
Well, oh, yeah, because Elias last year was involved in a lot of the camp stuff as well,
right,
like with the opening and rivals. And so they know each other. And then naturally we do some training during the off season. And I think one time I had Elias, we were working out at a place before. And so they know each other, and they're good with one another.
So I'm sure I was sitting in the press conference about 3 feet from Stingley Jr. Of the SEC championship game. Here's some of the sound bites that came up from it. I want to get your reaction because I thought about you real time, how cool it must be for them to be referencing a little bit about this. But this also the respect of the head coach that he has for Derek and really the work that you guys put in before he got to LSU.
So proud of him, man. I see Derek work. You go in the off season and you can go in the indoor arena on Saturday and Sunday. And him and his daddy are working every Saturday and Sunday. The guy's a tireless worker. Derek's a very humble young man. He came ready to go when we had him. His daddy did a good job of coaching him. He's one of the finest corners I've ever been around. And, he's a competitor.
Yeah.
Orgeron, as a head coach, his stock has gone through the ceiling.
Oh, without a doubt.
This year. Not only because of the performance on the field, but stories like that, Burrow, the acceptance speech. I think people saw that. I mean, that was just invaluable on how powerful that was. What's your relationship like with him? Because you can hear the respect he has for you, not just your son, for you. I know it's not easy for somebody like you who's so invested in your son's athletic career to turn him over to somebody, so the trust level that comes with.
Oh, the trust level is off the charts because what you see is what you get.
Yeah.
It's not fake. It's not recruit talk. It's just him, and everything that he's said and done has came out to be for us as our family. So I trust Coach O. I really do. I trust him. I trust Corey Raymond, David Randa, all the guys that really coach Derek that has a fingerprint on him. And for the things that O has done, he's one of the best. One
more from Orgeron. This was a pretty cool bite. This is Burrow talking about Sting and just where he is right now.
Derek's as humble of a guy as I've seen. Like you said, #1 recruits, top 10 recruits. You don't see that. You see time and time again. They come in and they're all cocky and loud. And Derek didn't say a word for 3 months. And in practice, I would go out of my way to throw Derek's way to see if he was, as good as everyone said he was. And I can tell you, yes, he is. Yes, he is.
It's good, man. There was one where Orgeron was speaking about him too, and Burrow butts in and says he's only a true freshman. I don't know if you remember that. He's just a true freshman. Sometimes you forget. But one thing that Derek told me after that, because he was asked specifically about it, we went a little bit more into it, was that Joe's made him a better player. Joe Burrow has made him a better football player.
Oh, without a doubt. Day one, because I was at the majority of those practices, day one, Joe Burrow was attacking him. And there was some battles out there. and with Derek, he had the chance to see, I'm going up against top-notch wide receivers.
Yeah.
He's facing Jamar Chase, and Justin Jefferson, and Terrence Marshall every day. And this was like right off of signing his letter of intent. Yeah. He's going right into that and dealing with those guys, facing Joe Burrow. And he's seeing the balls are getting there a whole lot faster. The receivers are catching the balls much better. They're running better routes. So now he has to be a little more focused and make those plays. And he was making a bunch of plays.
He was.
He was making a ton of them.
What'd you make of his punt return his freshman year?
I thought that he would probably do a little more, like return, give some bigger plays. But once they got into SEC play, what I saw was that the punters – they weren't giving him a chance, to be honest. So I was
punting him into the corner and stuff.
Yeah, I was glad to see at least he was fair catching them and making catches. He had that one deal against Auburn where I think he was just trying to prove a point where I think the punt before that, he had a chance to return a punt, and then that next one, he was like, you know what, I'm going to just return this one.
Play the numbers at some point, you're gonna muff one.
Yeah,
it's just gonna happen.
Yeah.
And like Orgeron said in one of his press conferences, I forget which one it was, but they were asking about Stingley and the punt return stuff. He said, look, when you have Burrow in that offense, you tell that guy not to make a mistake. Don't take the ball out of Nine's hand.
Exactly. I told him the same thing. I said, listen, we have an offense that would score.
3 plays from
I
anywhere
said,
on the
it is okay to fair catch the ball. You guys did y'all's job on defense to get them in a 4th down situation to punt the ball. Give it to our offense because they will score.
Yeah.
And we've seen that all day. I mean, all year.
Some of the LSU officials were. I think that Orgeron in a kind of a candid moment, he was talking about Derek's athleticism, and I believe it was on one of the conference calls during the SEC, and talked about mentioning playing 2 ways.
Yeah.
And have you heard that? Like now, SEC schools are like recruiting dirty against LSU, saying that Stingley wanted to play both ways, and Orgeron's not letting him. Would you clarify that for everybody, please?
Let me fix this whole story because it has wings now.
Yes, it is flying. It's flying around the football world.
Naturally, if locally everybody knows that Derek went to the Dunham School and he played both ways.
Yep.
Now, he was just as good on the offense side of the ball as he is on the defense side.
I went to the East Feliciana game last year. He touched it 4 times on offense and had 4 touchdowns.
Yes. Look, and also on the camp circuit, like with the 707 with the bootleggers, the Louisiana bootleggers, he would play offense, and he was probably one of the better offensive guys out there. So we've said it before, even when we came here, that he's just as a 5-star player on the offense side of the ball as he is on the defense side of the ball. Now, during his recruitment, Coach O talked about it on our home visit that, hey, if there's a chance that we can put him on offense, would you guys be willing to do that? And what I told O then, I said, listen, I'm okay with that being the case, but I want him to understand and be comfortable playing defensive back first.
Master the skill.
I say, I say because it's going to be too much on his plate because you guys still want him to return punts and play defense, and he's still just 17, 18 years old. That's going to be a lot for a kid of that age to do that. And Coach O was like, well, maybe we can do it later in his career. I said, I would prefer. I can't tell a coach what to do with their players. Right. I said, but I would prefer if that be the case that maybe he do that his junior year when he's comfortable being a defensive back in the SEC playing big time ball. To put all that on his plate right now, I just didn't think that was something that he should have been doing. So Coach O said, you know what? That's what we'll do. If that's what we choose to do, I'll give you my word that we'll wait until his junior year. Now I've heard it said it went from next year to this year.
Like Saban and Jimbo and Kirby Smart are telling people, Orgeron told him he was going to play him both ways, and now he's not.
No. We didn't ask for it. Coach O said we would like to do this because there's a chance that he can do it because of his skill set. So we just said, as a family, for sure, that we would prefer that to be his junior year. So there was no me telling Coach O, I want my son to play both sides of the ball, or we're asking for it. Coach O put it out there. And then we were like, we're fine with it, but just let it be his junior year when he's comfortable being a defensive back.
There you go. There's a story right there.